So why do we put these ashes on our heads? That's one of the questions that one of the dads in our parish, I was in a meeting recently with one of the fathers in our parish, and he said that's one of the questions that his son asked him. Is why do we put, what's with the ashes anyway? Why do we put those on our head? And it's a really good question, and it deserves a really, really good answer. And so we're going to work on a good answer tonight. And I think that we could, a really, really great place to start is with Cinderella. Because in the story of Cinderella, there is already a theology, a pretty good theology of Ash Wednesday and of the season of Lent. So we all know the Cinderella. Cinderella, first of all, the name, what does the name mean? It's French, apparently, comes from French, apparently. What it means is the girl who sits in the ashes, the cinders, Cinderella. She's the girl who sits in the ashes. And we know the story of why she's sitting in the ashes, even though there's no literal ashes in the story. She's in the ashes because she has to sit in a low place. She has to go, she has to be humbled. She has to be humbled. She's being treated, she has possibilities and potentials, but it's not being recognized by anyone. No one sees her for who she is. She's having to suffer. She's having to suffer some. And so she's having to take a low place, a humble place, before she can be raised up. She has to long for the ball and the cool shoes and the dance and the ball gown and the prince. She has to long for that for a while. That isn't going to come to her until she goes down, and then she'll be able to be raised up. And so there are many, many cultures around the world that have this, that understand the ashes, that sometimes in our life, we need to go sit in the ashes, and we need to put the ashes on our head or on our forehead. And so some Native American cultures where they have the great big long houses, they often have huge fire pits where great logs are being burned to keep everybody warm. And when those fires die down, there's a huge amount of ashes. And so sometimes one of the tribal members will just go and sit in the ashes. Just sit down and maybe put some ashes on their head, smudge their face with them. And nobody asks them anything. Nobody needs to talk to them. They know what's going on there. Something's going on deep inside of him, and he needs to sit in the ashes. Something's going on inside of her, and we don't need to talk about it because she probably can't explain it. She needs to sit in the ashes for a while and let the ashes do their work on her. Something's going on inside. There's work, the work of the ashes is going on inside of her. And so then that's true about us as well. When we put the ashes on our heads, when we receive those ashes on our foreheads, it's a way of saying to ourselves and of saying to everybody else, I'm not in my regular mood. This is a different mood I'm in. This is a thoughtful and reflective mood. I'm going deep within myself, and I'm doing soul work. I'm doing heart work. Heart work, it's a sign that says heart work is going on in here. Soul work is going on in here. And so we might need to sit in the ashes with the ashes on our foreheads. We might need to sit in silence and grieve for something that we have done that we're not proud of. And we need to learn from it, and we need to get our true selves back again and get resilient and on the way. We might need to grieve some injustice that someone else has done to us. We might need to grieve something we've lost, something or someone we love that we have lost. And it's time to sit in the ashes and let the work happen inside of us. The work that we can't put into words, that we can't explain, but the ashes know. The ashes know what we need. We need to sit in them and let the ashes do their work on us. And so I think that's a pretty tremendous theology of Ash Wednesday, is to remember Cinderella, the little girl who sits in the ashes. So let's begin this beginning of Lent with ourselves receiving the ashes, and let's come to the ashes and let's remember, what is it? Where is it that we need to grieve something? Where is it that soul work and heart work needs to take place deep inside? Where do we need to go down? And we're gonna have to spend some time down, smudged. We can't always be bright and shiny. And isn't that one of the reasons that all of the cultures have some one of these rituals around ashes? That we can't spend our whole lives being the bright and the shiny one. Sometimes we need to be the one who's smudged and who's in a low place of humility and waiting and letting the work happen inside of us. And so where is that place for us tonight as we enter into Lent? What is it that we need to mourn the loss of, or mourn what we have done or failed to do, or to mourn what someone has done to us? Then let's come and receive the ashes, and let's let the ashes do their work on us. Let's sit in the silence and let them do their work on us. That's why we take the ashes on our foreheads.